Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Youth Have a Voice podcast. If you're new here, my name is Feolami Joseph and I'm the host of this podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a sort of Q&A session, but this Q&A session is going to be based on AI's common questions that high school students and university students supposedly ask. So today I'm going to be reading out some of the commonly asked questions when it comes to high school and university students or high schoolers who are navigating going to university, and I will be answering questions based on some of the questions that have been asked. They're going to be general questions, they're going to be high schooler questions, and they're going to be university student questions. So I would basically just be picking from different ones and I will try my best to give my answers for each of the questions. So the first question I'm going to be reading out is, how can I effectively manage my time between studies, work, and social life? So personally, as someone who has a lot to manage between my schoolwork, my work life, and my personal life, I would say that the best way to do this is by having a schedule. I have both a physical schedule as well as a digital schedule. I personally use Google Calendar for my personal work, and then I use Microsoft Calendar or the Outlook Calendar for my office work. And then I always like to have a digital or rather a hard copy book every time I want to have things to tick off for the day. I always have my daily to-do list which I try to write down because I just generally find it very satisfying when I can tick off things I have accomplished for the day. So to manage my time between my studies, work, and social life, I have a calendar and schedule to ensure that I never miss out on what I'm supposed to do each week and each day. And I would say that definitely helps me to keep a balanced schedule. Then okay, so the next question I'm going to be answering is, what extracurricular activity should I consider joining? I know when I was in high school, when I was in secondary school, I was lucky to be exposed to the importance of extracurriculars, and I had a principal at the time who was very big on ensuring that every student was part of a co-curricular. But however, I know that a lot of students also didn't take it seriously. So I remember I was in choir at the time, and I remember there were just a bunch of random people who were also in the choir who I knew they didn't like to sing, but they joined it because they felt like it would look good on their university applications. So I would say that in order for you to choose an extracurricular, I feel you should choose something that you're actually passionate in, not just because you think it will look good on your university applications, because when you choose something that you're passionate in, you can actively defend it yourself. So, for example, if you're passionate about tennis, when you're writing your university and essays for uni, you can actively talk about your passion for tennis and how it grew. Instead of you maybe saying that you're going to be a part of the dance club and you really don't have any interest in doing it. So, depending on how many clubs or extracurriculars you're able to accomplish in a year, I would say first of all stick to your passions, and then you can also do clubs and activities that are different because it's always nice to try out new things at the end of the day. So stick to your passions, but you can also try out new activities, but make sure you don't overwork yourself so that you have a balance for everything you want to do. Okay, I'm liking this so far. So the next question I'm going to be answering is, what are the most important factors in a university application? Okay, so I'll be speaking on the experience of applying to universities abroad. So, when I was applying to universities, I have experience through UCAS and I have experience through the Common App. I would say that some of the things that are important for your university applications are your extracurriculars, your grades, of course, and then your essay. So those three things, and oh, a recommendation letter from a teacher, your guidance counselor, or someone who has worked with you and understands you as a person, but probably not a family member, usually someone in an educational or professional aspect. When you usually have these factors in place, then your university applications become easier. So when they talk about extracurriculars, they mean what activities were you part of in school and out of school. So were you like the head of a club, or were you part of were you a member of a club? You don't have to be the head. What was your impact while you were in that club? Did you do any volunteering while you were in school or out of school, and how did that kind of help you to develop yourself? So universities like seeing some of the things you were able to accomplish, as they're able to have a track record of what you can do and how what you have done in the past can help you while you start your new role in your university. Because when you leave the secondary school or the high school space, life becomes bigger than just getting grades and getting good grades done. It becomes bigger than that. So you have to do so much more apart from your academics. You have to look for internships, you have to find clubs, and having a track record while you're still in school helps go a long way in ensuring that that happens. Okay, so in terms of a recommendation letter, sometimes the university may ask for your guidance counselor's email address, and they will directly reach out to the guidance counselor themselves. So this is usually a way for them to see your behavior while you were in the school, and basically if you had any behavioral issue, what your grades were like, your personality while you were in school, and then they could also now ask you for maybe a teacher or a coach's contact details, and they would like to know your relationship with the teacher or the coach. And you don't see, I think you end up not seeing what they feel for you. So it's better to choose someone who knows you really well and not someone you maybe met like 5 minutes ago. So someone who knows and understands you and is able to tell the truth about your character would help go a long way with your university applications. And then obviously another thing that is really important is your grades. So these days, grades are not the only way to get into university, but at the same time, it's always good to have good grades. There are a lot of scholarship opportunities available, so having good grades can definitely help you in that regard. Because some scholarships may say you can't apply if you don't have at least a 3.0 GPA, something of that sort. So having good grades also helps go a long way when you want to accomplish and achieve some of the things for your university applications. Okay, so the next question I'll be answering is, what are some tips for managing application deadlines and requirements? If you're applying to maybe 5 to 10 schools, before you start your application, you can always see when the application due date is. And most of the time, the due dates usually fall around the same time. So if you're applying for early action, um, the due date may likely be around December of the year you're applying for. If you're applying for early decision, it may end up being November or even October of the year you're applying for. And then if you're applying for regular decision, it may end up being maybe January, February, March, sometimes even May. No, not May. It usually ends up being like April. So when you see the due dates of when your applications are, the first thing is to put them into your calendar. So in this case, I would advise having a digital calendar, as it will help you remember. So have your calendar on your laptop, have your calendar on your phone. When with this calendar, you make sure that so let's say your application was due December 20th. Try to set your calendar due date to be December 15th, just so that you have ample time to ensure that you think that your due date is meant to be December 15th, and you work towards that, so you end up not procrastinating ahead of time. So through this, you ensure that you make sure all your I's are dotted, all your T's are crossed. Everything that maybe a teacher or a counselor may need to submit is ready, and this makes sure that you end up not panicking by the time you're meant to actually submit your application. The next thing I would say is, what are the key differences between high school and university life? I think this is a really important question and a really good question because a lot of people, I think, especially from people who come from backgrounds like not used to the regular background where they are not spoon fed. University and high school life are completely different in the sense that in high school your teachers may actually still prompt you to do stuff, but when you get to university, you're basically your motivation for everything. You may be able to find a group of people who can also motivate you and you may be able to relate with them, but a lot of the time, if you don't push yourself, no one is going to push you. You're not going to have professors that will tell you, oh, Feolami, I'll use myself as an example. You're not going to have professors that will tell you, Feolami, your assignment is due in 2 days. You haven't done it yet. You basically have to be the one to remind yourself, oh, this assignment is due in 2 days. I have finals a week from now. I need to work on this. I need to work on that. So basically, the biggest change is that no one is really prompting you to get work done. Um, Also, you will meet people from different personalities and you need to be able to work better with people. So through this, basically work would get done faster. And I think it also translates to the real world outside of university and even high school because even when you get into the work environment, not everyone is going to like you. Some people may pretend to like you at first and you end up realizing they didn't like you, and even after finding that out, you still have to work with them. So basically, being flexible is also very, very important. Okay. So the next question I'm going to be answering is, what should I do to prepare for life after graduation? Um, I think this is my favorite question so far because life after graduation, I would talk from a high school perspective. No one is in the same phase of life as you. Some people may end up taking a gap year. Some people may be going directly to university. Some people may not even be going to school. They may be going directly to the workforce, or some people may even be going to the military. Anything that basically pertains to them. So everyone's phase after graduation is always completely different. But I think it's important to remember that life is a journey and everyone's timing is different. That would help you a lot because comparison really is a thief of joy. If you're always comparing yourself to other people and thinking that this person has gotten this far, I haven't gotten that far, you will never be able to really get anything done with your life. So yeah, I would basically just say that everyone's life and everyone's timing is different. So it's important to remember that for your sanity. But take every day as a time. Don't overwork yourself. Don't stress yourself. Yeah, I think that's one of the major things I would say when it comes to that. The next question is, how do I network professors and professionals in my field? For professors, this is actually one of the posts I had on my social media page on TikTok. So before you enter any professor's class, always try to introduce yourself to that professor. Basically, just let them know that you would that. Basically, introduce yourself to them. Hello, my name is this. I am in your class at this time. I would. I'm looking forward to learning from you. I'd love to know when your office hours are so that we can connect more. And over time, as you also join your office hours and maybe schedule virtual calls with them, it can help you as a student to teacher relationship. Then professionally, LinkedIn is your best friend when it comes to this. Everyone or almost everyone you are looking for in your field would be on LinkedIn. Whether you're a creative or you're a 9 to 5 worker, you would find someone in your field on LinkedIn, right? So just connecting with people actually optimize your LinkedIn profile, as that would be a way for people to want to connect with you. So when you post and you've kind of built a form of network, try connecting with people in your field, connect with other students, connect with your professors, as your professors can actually open doors for you to find more people in your field. So that would definitely help you as you are navigating your professional life, because networking goes a long way in every field you are working in. When you have a network, you have people that you can ask based on your skills and your experiences. LinkedIn helps and goes a long way in that aspect. Okay, I think I'm just gonna answer a few more questions and then I will round up the podcast episode for today. The next question is, what are some strategies for reducing stress during the school year? School is stressful. I think everyone knows that. It can be really overwhelming with the need of wanting good grades and then all the clubs and activities you want to do. So I would say to basically manage your stress, always take breaks and have a calendar. Don't pile too much in your calendar. From your calendar, you can test your limits, or rather, you can see what your limits are. So, if you're starting your day off at 7 a.m., practically you shouldn't be working till like way late in the night. So, it shouldn't be so. Even if you want to work into the night, have breaks between each and every break you're gonna have. So, if you're working for maybe 30 minutes, have a 5 minute interval as much as you can between each one so that you can have time to meditate. And schools help actually with that, because any good school should have lunch break and snack break and maybe even like a minute's break in between classes so that you don't end up breaking down. If your school doesn't have a break, you can show this to your professor or you can show this to your principal to try to tell them the importance of having breaks, because no one is a machine. You can't go on and on without taking a break to focus on yourself. So yeah, take breaks. That's the most important thing. Um, Sometimes you just need to rest. You don't always have to work every single day. Try to rest so that you can recuperate and come back better. Because when you work on a clear mind, it makes it easier for you to be able to think clearly and basically have new ideas to work well in school and at work and anywhere you are basically. The next question is, how can I improve my public speaking and presentation skills? I think the best way to do this is to practice just recording yourself. So basically pick up a camera, pick up a microphone if you have one, or just your camera, your phone, that works. And basically just talk. Rant and yap as much as you can and just talk for as long as you can. And then as you get comfortable in front of talking to a screen, from there, call on your friends, call on your family members, and speak in front of them. Listen, tell them to evaluate how you speak and listen to the criticism that they may give you to see what needs to change, what you may need to improve, and this will definitely help go a long way in ensuring that your public speaking and presentation skills get better. On YouTube, there are also a bunch of free courses on public speaking and presentation. You can also do maybe a couple of paid ones on platforms such as Coursera or Udemy, platforms like that. That would definitely help you. But feedback is always as important in ensuring that your public speaking skills improve on. Okay, the next question is, how can I build a strong resume while still in school? So resumes can be built as early as middle school or primary school actually. And then obviously you need a resume as you transition from secondary school, high school, all the way up onto university. So, as you're young, your resume can begin in the form of your clubs and activities. So, what was your leadership position while you were in school? What did you partake in to basically put on your resume? So, for example, if you were the secretary of your club, that can count as experience for the meantime. then you can also get some volunteering experience. So basically, having a resume while still in school opens more opportunities for you, and you basically understand the structure of how to do so. So also listing your skills, both your soft skills and your hard skills, also goes a long way in building a strong resume. So if you're good at communication, it's a good skill to list on your resume. If you're good at time management, it's a good skill to list on your resume. Then actually, there are lots of hard skills people have that they are not aware that they have, but that they actually have. So if you're good with using, like, let's say, the Microsoft 365 packages, maybe PowerPoint, presentation, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, those are valid skills to put on your resume. If you are good at calculation, data analysis, these are also good skills to put on your resume. So there are so many skills that you may have that you may not realize actually help you at your job. I also believe, I think I said this in a podcast episode I did, I believe in having a master resume. So through your master resume, it has everything you have ever done. Let's say you worked in finance, and you've also worked in sales, and you've also worked in marketing, you've also worked in human resources as a student in different aspects. Have everything you have done listed on your master resume, and then by the time you want to start applying for jobs or you want to start applying for a particular opportunity, you basically have a big CV resume to fall back on, where you can see everything that you have ever done, and you can begin to tailor the application to some of the activities you have done in the past. So instead of having a very disorganized resume that would have everything listed for particular openings, you would have a master one. Then you would now take out specific skills and specific experiences you have gone through to tailor them to the application that you're looking at applying for. I'll be taking two more questions, and then that will be the end of today's episode. The next question is, how do I start preparing for college while in high school? I think I answered a question similar to this, but I also think this is also a valid question. So, embarking in activities while in high school will definitely help you in your university application. So, you could maybe do one sports, one creative or innovative club idea. You could do volunteering. You could do a passion project. So a passion project could be in the form of you starting a club yourself, or maybe you starting a podcast, or starting a blog, or writing a book. These are forms of passion projects that look good to university applications. Then obviously having a good track record in school, not getting into trouble, having good grades. Yeah, all these are things that would help you as you transition and as you go into university. So doing these things while in high school will definitely help you open up more doors for transitioning to university. And last but not least is what should I consider when choosing a major? Okay, so a major, okay, if you don't know what a major is, first of all, it's basically what you're going to be studying while in university. So you can major in biology, or you can major in economics, or you can major in sociology, you can major in business administration, you can major in law, you can major in any subject that is available for that university. So when choosing what you want to major in, some of the factors you could choose are what subjects are you good at while in secondary school, what subjects are you good at while in high school. So if you tilt more towards the science kind of subjects, you may be thinking of choosing a career path related to science. If you're good at the artsy side, you may be choosing a career based in arts or something related to art. It doesn't have to be particularly drawing, it could be another form of art because art comes in different forms. If you're good at the business commerce side, you could also be choosing something in that area. So the subject you do in high school can play a huge role or a huge factor in choosing what major you want to study. Then basically thinking of your personality. Are you someone that likes to work long hours? So when you choose a major, you should also be kind of thinking of maybe what you may want to do with that major. I mean, you don't have to immediately, but it's also good to put that in consideration, being that university is expensive, so you wouldn't want to waste money going down the rabbit hole of choosing something and ending and having it end up not being really useful for you. So you could think of your personality when it comes to certain degrees and maybe career pathways you could be thinking of. So when you think of that, that is also a good factor to consider when choosing a major. Then another thing you could think of is the duration. Some majors take longer to complete than others. If you're someone that doesn't want to be in school for maybe 6 years, 7 years, you may end up choosing a major that is maybe 3 or 4 years or anything of that sort. So basically, also the duration of time you may have to spend in school can also help you think and choose a major you'd be thinking of pursuing. Okay, I think I have come to the end of today's podcast episode. This was very different and I hope you liked it. If you like this episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and share with your family members and friends. And I will see you in our next episode. Have a blessed day and goodbye.